Kush Bohra of kushbohra.com. Thank you for joining us here on News 9 Kush. Always great seeing you. And Nifty is of course back at 22,000. But the last time we spoke, you recommended booking profits around 22,100, which I remember is the upper end of this range the market has been trading in the last 3 to 4 weeks or so. Is that still the view?
Hi, first up, a very good morning to you and all the viewers. Always a pleasure being here. I'm so glad that you remember that markets did see a bit of a dip around those levels, didn't they? Now the view's changing slightly. My view is that not only will we be knocking at the doors of 22,200, we'll perhaps break them open and head towards 22,500. So we're looking at that level now. I think markets have spent enough and more time in this range, and the 22,100 kind of upper band held on for a while, a couple of exceptional days aside. See, the only missing piece in the entire puzzle was the Bank Nifty. And now, if you look at the Bank Nifty setup after a month's hiatus, probably a little more than that, Bank Nifty is now trading above its 20-day moving average. That's the first litmus test of a trend reversal. I think once the Bank Nifty also starts to participate, or at the very least, if it doesn't drag the Nifty down, the constituents down, then I think we're looking at the 22,500 mark by the end of March. So that's what our view is. In fact, even on Bank Nifty, we're getting constructive. 48,000 is the level that we're looking at on Bank Nifty.
Good morning, Kush. Now, keeping to banks, I'll talk about Axis Bank. Mr. Subramaniam Swamy has accused them of a 1,500 crore scam charge. The bank has issued clarification that it has obtained all the necessary approvals and regulatory approvals, and the bank believes that no material impact will happen on the shares. But when I look at the stock itself, both of Max Financial Services, which is the parent company of Max Life Insurance, which is a script that has gained almost 30% in the last 1 year, has been in the negative almost 3.5% in the last 5 days. Axis Bank 24% gains in the last 1 year. In the negative last 1 month, almost 4%. Today it is down almost 0.5%. Where do you see Axis Bank going? Do you see a major correction in both these stocks, and how do you see this playing out?
So let me put it this way, all the news aside, Axis Bank was anyway in a bit of a consolidation mode. We had seen a bit of a double top kind of a formation around the 1150 levels, and the stock had seen a sharp out of profit booking where it almost touched the 1000 level also, about 1020 and thereabouts. From there on, we are seeing a recovery. So all in all, the stock has anyway been under pressure. If you ask me very specifically about the news, let me just clarify. I don't have the entire details on this, but any kind of such news, assuming that the bank does come clean, we know what's the history, as a guide that turns out to be a buying opportunity. So that's my 2 cents on the news. But as far as the stock goes, it's already been in a range. So someone is now looking for an up move or a fresh entry. I think 1020, 1030, the recent lows that the stock has made could act as your support zone. Be a little patient. I think the stock could now head towards the recent highs of 1140, and once that is taken out, we're looking at 1200 levels. But that seems like more of a positional bet, given how all the private banks are under a bit of a pressure, and all the all the juice and all the rally is in the PSU name. So positionally, Axis is looking attractive, but not from a momentum play at all.
All right. But Kush, as we speak, Intero Healthcare has listed. Let me just tell you what the listing price is to you and our viewers, of course. It has seen a muted listing, a cut of about 2% on the final issue price of 1258. Intero Healthcare Solutions has listed at around 1229, and remember the subscription was also muted. In fact, it was the least subscribed IPO since HMA Agro Industrial IPO back in June 2023. Kush, coming to you, any view on Intero muted listing? Perhaps one can get onto the stock.
Well, very honestly, I track stocks from a derivatives and a technical standpoint, so a very limited view on this one, none perhaps.
Fair enough. But I wanted to talk about HDFC Bank as well, because, at least yesterday, one of the major drivers for the index, for both indices in fact, was HDFC Bank. It surged by about 2% or so. And I think it's very important for the markets to move higher from here on, that HDFC, if it does not even rally, it finds some bit of a support. So what are the, the levels that you will be tracking as far as HDFC Bank is concerned, sir?
So first up, let me just put out a view very clearly. We think HDFC buys and accumulates. We've heard the old adage where, if you want to park your money in the bank, you'd rather buy the share of this bank rather than put the money in, in the FD of this bank, right? That's how I still look at it. Uh, y- you know, uh, what happened recently with PSU banks and the railway names, in a very short term, as we call the recency effect, will explain what is happening with HDFC Bank on the broader term. Let me take 30 seconds to explain. When we saw those 5, 10, 10 to 12% kind of dips on these names in the last 2, 3 days, everyone started questioning whether this rally is sustainable, whether the story is over, and it was just a 2-day correction. And most of these stocks are back to their old prices, if not higher. Now, what happened with these names over the short period of time is happening with HDFC Bank over a slightly longish period. Let's not forget the kind of darling it has been, the kind of returns that it has made. So take it as a long-term bet. Start your SIPs in HDFC Bank from here on. As far as the levels go, I think 1350 is a very strong support zone. Once that is broken, perhaps we look at if we have to revise the view. But 1350 is a very strong support zone, and in any case, the stock is off its highs from 1700 odd levels. Uh, I won't rule out a good 15 to 18% kind of an up move in the coming year. So for me,
Wow.
HDFC Bank is a very attractive buy at these levels and will continue to remain so for at least 1350 odd levels.
All right. Could rally about 15 to 18% in the next year. Strong support at 1350, and that's the view on HDFC Bank. But Kush also wanted to pick your brains on Mahindra and Mahindra, because that stock rallied by about 7% yesterday. Of course, brilliant set of numbers as far as the earnings go. But compared to the peers, Tata Motors and Maruti Suzuki, it has been a laggard in the on the 6 months and the 1 year price charts. Is Mahindra and Mahindra finally seeing a breakout?
Well, the way I look at it, it is already, in breakout territory. The main resistance zone for the stock actually was 1730. If you look at it from a weekly perspective, December, the entire month, it was like a pinpoint level. 1730 was the level that the stock wasn't able to take out, and then went into some sort of consolidation mode. Even then, I stuck my neck out and said that, it's a buying opportunity. Let's not forget the rally that the stock had seen, because it was only 1st of November where the stock was about, 1400 odd and then rallied to 1700. So it did see a good 20, 30% kind of an up move in, a month and a half. So a big stock like that correcting, rising so much and then going into consolidation is a healthy sign. We're very constructive on Mahindra and Mahindra. 1800 was our immediate target that's achieved today. Going forward, we're looking at an 1875 and 1925 kind of a level on Mahindra and Mahindra. However, as you said, Tata Motors, we rate it slightly higher, above M&M. So if one was to take a punt or a trading bet, I would say Tata Motors will rate slightly higher over M&M. Maruti, maybe, between the three would rank third. So Tata Motors, M&M, and Maruti, that would be a pecking order.
The Tata Motors, Maruti and Mahindra that way. But what are your picks apart from that for the investors today, Kush?
Sure. So a couple of them, since we are so bullish on the banking space, Bank of Baroda is one stock that has not really participated, in the way the likes of Canara Bank and SBI have. So we think Bank of Baroda will play a catch-up game here. On the upside, we're looking at a near-term target of 282 and 288, and 270 is a strong support zone. Also, the power pack is still quite powerful. We think this is a sectoral churn. This is a sectoral rally that is happening. So Swan Energy. This morning we had a call of Swan Energy with a target of 755 and 770, and 725 was the stop loss. Given that the stock has already achieved its first target and going closer to the second, my suggestion would be to hold, or even if someone wants to enter this one, a fresh entry can be made with a stop loss of 745 and the next target of 800.
All right, those are the stock picks from Kush Bohra. Sir, thank you for joining us here on News 9. Always a pleasure speaking to you.
Always have a good day.